Good one.
Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, if you like it, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you don't miss any new content. What we're going to talk about today is a tactic that I've discovered over time that works really well on days when you have sunny skies and wind. And if you've been snakehead fishing for any amount of time, you know that sunny skies and fairly moderate to high wind is pretty much the worst conditions you can have for snakehead fishing. So it's taken me a while, and I'm going to share this one with you, but it's definitely some hot intel. So just do me a favor. If you end up catching fish on this, let me know, send me the pics, that kind of deal. And I'll actually leave a link at the end of this and in the video description for like PayPal, Patreon. If you want to help contribute to the channel, help me make more content on here to help you catch more fish, all those donations are very much appreciated. So let's get into the actual topic for this video. Now, the water that I actually was on was over in the Blackwater area because this was part of the championship for the high octane East versus West Side tournament. Now, if you missed my qualification round for this tournament, you gotta go check that out. I had a 5-fish limit of like 158 inches. I caught one that might have been a state record. Whole thing, incredible day. But on this day, let's talk about what served me really well out here. So first things first, when you're dealing with sunny skies and wind, one of the things you want to do, one of the things I always try to do is to get out of the wind when I'm snakehead fishing. So if you have any wind breaks, be they shorelines with plenty of trees, any type of cover like that that's going to break up the wind, I'll generally aim for my smaller waters, my creeks, that I can hopefully get some kind of wind shielding from. Because snakehead, for whatever reason, just seem to hate the wind. However, if you can't find those creeks, or those creeks are already taken, in this tournament, that was kind of the case. That's a whole other story though. Another thing you can do out here is find timber or similar structure on points in shallow coves and then bounce lures like this real All-American curly, this swim frog on a weighted swim bait hook. Bounce that over and among the timber. And there's some nuance to it, there's some tips that'll help you out too, but that's basically what you're doing is you're bouncing it off that timber, making that noise, trying to draw that reaction strike from these fish that are being very finicky because it's sunny skies and fairly heavy wind. So, tips for while you're out there fishing lures like this at the stump field. First, if it's not going to be a real All-American curly, you definitely want something that is largely weedless, almost completely weedless if you can help it. Because you're going to be bouncing along this timber, like some of this timber, like in this video, had barnacles all over it. It's easy to get snagged on. So pick a lure that's going to be pretty darn snag free, otherwise you're going to have a really long day just getting snagged up again and again, and you got to go in there and get it unsnagged and spook the hole. Use weedless lures, that's step number one. Use a heavy enough swim bait hook that you're actually getting down to depth so that you can make sure you're bouncing off that structure. I've had far better luck bouncing off the structure than I have just kind of reeling it through the structure. That really seems to trigger that reaction bite when you're bouncing it off the structure. Make sure that you, when you get a hit in this type of environment, especially if it's on a soft plastic like these, you get the hit, you stop, you reel down, you feel the fish, and then you set the hook. I missed some fish early on because, well, A, I was frustrated and in a bad mood for reasons we'll get into in the actual video, and B, I was really anxious. I was really hoping to get fish in the boat and I was ready to set that hook. Too ready to set that hook too quickly. And I lost some fish that really could have changed my day out there as a result of that. But hindsight's 2020. I'm passing the information on to you, so hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. This pattern I don't think is limited just to stump fields. What I've seen on these windier days, it seems like a lot of times those fish will move into the channel edges and that kind of thick structure on those windy days. But this stump field pattern is one of the only ones I've had success with on windy days. So hopefully the tips help you. Now as we get into the video right here, you're gonna see my whole day play out here. So I hope you stick around to watch it. It was a pretty wild day. And to round out the gear, aside from the real All-American curly I'm using right here, this is 40-pound Berkley X9 for the fishing line. This is my favorite rod, my Katie Lynn Black Ops bait casting rod. I freaking love this thing. This thing is about 7 feet long, fast action, heavy power, and man, I can just put hooks to a fish with no fear of any kind of damage to the rod or anything like that. I can just send that hook home. And that's really needed fishing that deep cover like that and that heavy cover with all that timber. The reel here holding that rod is a Shimano Curado, and I'll leave a link in the description to all this gear so that you can check it out for yourself and pick something up if you want it for yourself. So that covers the gear, that covers the tips, but there's some other nuance, some other details that I'll pass along throughout the course of the video as I show you what happened with this day on the water. So remember, if you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. Check the video description for links to all the gear. And let's get to the fishing action and this actual fishing day. You'll see if I'm able to pull down first place or not from the high octane east versus west side tournament. Folks, it is lines in time. Let's go fishing. Gonna start off with the American Snakehead Custom Buzzbait. Boy, that thing is noisy. Now, I actually arrived to this spot probably about 45 minutes to an hour before lines in, and it was a long trek to get to this cove that leads back to a creek. But I knew from the satellite recon that there was a creek back here with trees along the shoreline. And that's crucial when you know you're going to be fishing an open area that's really exposed to the wind, is to find those shielded areas. And although I found it and I was here fishing, there were two fellow competitors who decided to skirt by me on the left, go up into this cut and essentially completely remove it from any of my access. Unless I wanted to follow right behind them through this shallow water that would have been spooked. So, it is what it is. It's not the call I would have made, but it did put me in a bad mental place for about the next hour, hour and a half out here. The moral of the story that I would say is that you really can't control other people's actions. All you can really control is your reaction to them. So try to keep your head in the game, even when you're presented with things that just completely irritate you. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, I knew it. Did not get a good hook set on him. That's the kind of mistakes that are going to cost us, folks. Those are the kind of stupid mistakes that are going to cost us out here. That was a good fish, too. That wasn't small. That was a good fish. I just couldn't catch up to him. Could not catch up to him. And that's 2 strikes now on the real American curly. That was another hit. I am all tangled up. This is not the kind of start we need, folks. Definitely is not. He didn't feel hooks. I might have a shot. Maybe. There we go. It's a little mini, but it's a snake. I wish I could have landed that big one that I lost instead, but I'll take a landed snakehead, assuming he meets minimum length requirements. When I say he's a mini, I do mean he is a mini. And she'll just barely hit 15. All right, you little rascal. There she is. There she goes. Here comes that sun, and that's not a good thing. That high sun will shut a bite down. Now from this point forward, you're going to see where the wind really starts picking up, and it picked up early. It was mainly only about 7 o'clock at this point, and you're going to see that chop start forming on the water. So This is about when I started trying to adjust my tactics and then going to new areas. You'll see a stump field very, very soon.
Hey, bro.
Yo, man, getting in there.
I got one real small one. Had two other short strikes and lost the good one.
Oh, cold down there?
Is it cold, you said?
Yeah.
It's not cold, it's chilly.
There we go.
Folks, luck is not on my side today. Not yet, anyway. This is ridiculous. How many fish I've freaking lost at this point, but it's a lot. And now I'm snagged. Here we are. Keeping pressure on. Keeping pressure on. Stay on, dang it. Stay the heck on. So sick of losing fish. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, that's at least a respectable fish. Good night. All right, let's get her on grips. Do all this intelligently. Okay, I got grips in her. Real American curly. I love that thing. That's why we snakehead fish. Because they are crazy. Yeah, that's clearly 22. All right, good deal. Decent fish. There she is. Real American curly, baby. Ooh. Slip drag. There he is. Not a bass. Please don't be a bass. It's a bass. Look at that. Decent bass, but not what I'm here for. You rascal. Ooh, that was a hit all day. Fish on, folks. Not a big one, but not super small. Real American curly's doing all the work today.
Now you can actually see the stump field that I was fishing a few moments ago in the background of this shot. But over across the water, near this point, there was another area of timber that was even more shielded by the wind. It did produce some fish for me, but I was really bouncing from point with timber, from shoreline with timber, all with the key of that timber being submerged. That seemed to be just a prime reaction bite spot.
Yeah, looks like 17 and a half. Right. A little 17 and a half incher. Thanks, little buddy. Got him. Fish on. Not terrible. Not big. Not terrible. Okay, fishing in there. There she is. Bigger than the last one. There we go. told you before about the Spike It Dip and Glow. This one's garlic flavor. Take those legs, dip them down in there, and try to keep the color off yourself. Put that cap on nice and tight because you don't want that stuff leaking. You can see all the bubbles around me. It's because I just lost one. Wasn't a monster, and I feel really bad about it if it was a really good fish, but he would have been an upgrade. So my smallest one right now is like 14 3/4.
Now after I finished fishing the shoreline, just across the way I noticed this really juicy looking point. I mean just tons of timber all over it. So as I go to fish this area, I'm going to walk you through the kind of retrieve that I'm using here. So first things first, you can see from my reeling cadence right here that it's a pretty slow retrieve. I'm reeling these things just fast enough to make those tails spin and to make sure it's bouncing off the bottom. If you feel like you have some debris on your hook, go ahead and give it some nice short, hard pops with your rod tip. Try to free that debris. And a lot of times it seems like those really quick movements like that, those sharp pops will actually generate the strikes that you're looking for.
Oh, there he is. What'd I say? What did I say? I knew there'd be a couple on here. Now, that's not a big snakehead, but it is more than 14.75. She'll come in at 17. All right, little guy, go back to the up a little bit. Ooh, there he is. Fish, good one. Or it feels good. Whew. No, he ain't that big. I just wasn't as ready as I should have been. So my wrist was very weak on the hook set. So she felt bigger than she actually is. Okay. Did I tell you this point looked good, or did I tell you it looked good? I mean, this is one of the few patterns that I've been able to discern on these windier days and sunny days. And it's working out pretty well for me. Wow, he choked it. Well, he spit it. Excellent. You go up there. You go up there. Somewhere around 19. Yep, right at 19. Right at 19. That one that jumped and I just spooked just now, that was a good fish. That was a mid-high 20s fish. One more inch and you'd be coming home. All right, little beauty. Let's see how many more I can get off the stump field. Fish on. Again, not a big one, but definitely an upgrade. There you are. She might go low 20s, which for today is pretty good. A tip for y'all out there using the real All-American Curly or any bait like it. I'm noticing much better hookup ratio. When I get a hit, I wait a second, reel down, and then set the hook. Early this morning, I think I was getting a little bit too excited. Not taking the slack out. Not giving them a second to get it nice and deep in their mouth before I set that hook. Yep, about 20 and a half. Another upgrade. That doesn't say much for my day so far. Just another upgrade. Bring that tail out. Oh, she'll go 20 and 3/4. Nice.
So at this point in the day here, I'm in first place. It's right around 10 a.m. I got a solid pattern going, the pattern I described to you throughout this video about using that real All-American Curly, bouncing it through the submerged stump fields, especially around points. But even though I'm in first right now, my average size fish is very small, maybe around 19, at very most 20 inches. And when you're going up against 10 of the best snakehead anglers anywhere in the Delaware region, that amount of length I have right here is just not going to give you that warm and fuzzy feeling. So I was keeping at it, grinding hard.
Holy crap. Man, I thought I finally had the snakehead that I need, and I don't, but I got a hog of a bass. Lord almighty. Come here, you chunk. Not what I'm looking for, but a solid fish. Son of a gun. Here. I don't even mess with you more than that, you pig.
So folks, at this point right here, it's really only about 10:30 in the morning. Believe it or not, even with everything I did, all the different ways I was grinding out there trying to figure out a solid bite, even this pattern I discovered, once that sun got high enough and the wind got high enough, largely died. And that's how the snakehead bite is. It can change from minute to minute, hour to hour. But what I did out here actually ended up being good enough for second place. Here are the standings for our top 3. But when I tell you that bite was tough, I mean that bite was tough. Of the 10 anglers who were out there, only 4 of them caught fish. I mean, those conditions were rough. So take these lessons, take these tips to heart. That way, if you encounter a day when you have high wind, where you have high sun and bluebird skies, you might still have a chance at putting some fish in the boat. But it's not going to be easy. Full disclosure, it's not going to be easy. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're feeling extra generous, check out my PayPal link in the video description. Thanks very much to the High Octane team for putting on a solid tournament. Other than that, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a good one.